Yesterday demo, we discussed about simply what is Python. So whether it is scripting language or programming language, it is not a scripting language, it is general purpose programming language, which can also work as a scripting language. We understood scripting languages versus programming languages. In the programming languages, high-level programming languages, low-level programming languages, what is high-level language, what is low-level language. And also we recognize the compiler-based programming languages, interpreter-based programming languages. The language which works based on compiler, those are known as compiler-based programming languages. The languages which works based on interpreter, that language is known as interpreter-based programming languages. That we understood. And also we understood about Python as a very high-level programming language. High-level programming languages hides machine level complexities. It hides all the machine level complexities. Very high level programming languages not only hiding the machine level complexities, it also hides logic development complexities. Okay, this we understood. So what is Python? Very easy programming language, general purpose programming language, very high level programming language. This also works as a scripting language. And already we understood what is general purpose programming language and what are the Python application areas. So what we can do with Python, what are the Python application areas, this we understood. And Python is multi-purpose and multi-paradigm. What are the various programming paradigms? Procedure-oriented programming. Procedure-oriented programming paradigm. What is the procedure-oriented programming language? The language which supports procedure-oriented programming or procedural programming is known as procedural programming languages, C language. Object-oriented programming is another approach. So the language which supports object-oriented programming paradigm, that is known as object-oriented programming languages. C, C++, Java, these all are C#, C++, Java, C#, these all object-oriented programming languages. Functional programming, I told you R language and Scala language, these are functional programming languages. But you see, Python is procedural programming language. You can use it as a procedural programming language. Approach, the style of writing the code is the paradigm. The approach of writing the code is the paradigm. So Python you can use as a object-oriented programming language also. Python you can use as a functional programming language also. Python includes modular programming abilities, that is modularity. Of course, almost all programming languages are having this ability, and Python you can use as a scripting language. Next, let us, this much we discussed yesterday, right? All of you comfortably understand this much. Next, features of Python. Features of Python. What are the features of Python? Python is a high-level programming language. This already we understood. We know that. Second one is Python is interpreted. Python is interpreter-based programming language. Python is not compiler-based, friends. Python is interpreter-based programming language. Here several questions. Why not Python is compiler? Why still that is interpreter only? So what are the differences? A lot of people don't know comparatively. Let us understand it comparatively. First, let me tell you about interpreter programming languages execution flow. See, user, programmer, the programmer write the code using Notepad or any text editor or any IDE. Some have the programmer is writing the program. So he written Python program. This is a high level code. This is a program Python. Not only Python, any interpreter based programming language. This is the procedure. This is program 1.py. Let us assume that this is Python program. Python is interpreter based programming language. Who is responsible to execute this? Hardware is responsible. The another end, hardware, the microprocessor, your hardware is responsible to execute. Hardware is responsible. Hardware cannot understand the high-level program. So here interpreter comes to the picture. Interpreter is responsible for executing the program. This is Python interpreter. This is Python interpreter. Okay, Python interpreter. Okay. What is the interpreter execution process? Line by line. Line by line. Of course, in this program, you have several lines of the code. You have several lines of the code. Maybe 100 lines of the code, 500 lines of the code, otherwise 20 lines of the code, 30 lines of the code, whatever. This is the program. Program is group of instructions, several lines of the code, several instructions. What is the interpreter process? Whenever you say run the program, when you are working with interpreter, there is only one step called run the program. Execute the program. There is only one step called run the program, execute the program. How it will execute? First, it will read the first line. It will read the first line. First step is read the first line, read the line. Then the second step is check for syntax, verify for syntax. Check syntax. So is it syntactically correct or not? Are there any syntactical errors in this line? Only first line. If it is syntactically correct, suppose it is a syntax error, it will report the syntax error, stop there itself. If it is syntactically correct, then convert into machine code, convert into hardware understandable code, convert into machine code, convert into hardware understandable code. So now this converted code is understandable to hardware. Hardware can process it and gives you output. So first line execution is over. Process, output. First line execution is over. Second line, once first line execution is completed, then it comes to second line. Read the line, check for syntax, then convert into machine code, execute, output. right? Then third line, after completion of second line, third line. After completion of third line, fourth line. After completion of fourth line, fifth line, and so on. Line by line execution. Understand, guys? This is interpreter flow. When you are using interpreter, you are executing the English source code, your high level code, English program directly you are executing. Interpreter is internally converting the high level code into low level code, machine understandable, making sure that is processed by the hardware. This is interpreter execution flow. I believe all of you understand. Any questions in this interpreter process, guys? I think all of you understand about it. Next, what is compiler? So let me compare the C++ language related. Now we are talking about C language or C++ language compilation process. C language or C++. Now this program is not a Python program. This program is not a Python program. This is a .c or CPP. This is .c or CPP. C program. Now C programming is not interpreter. C is compiler based. C is compiler based. So here the C language compiler comes to the picture. This is C language compiler. Compiler comes to the picture. When you are working with compiler, there are two steps. There will be two steps. First step is compile the source code. First step is compilation. First step is compilation. After compilation, second step is execution or run. Run the code or execute the code, right? Execution or run the program. Okay. So first compilation. So programmer written the code and program is saved as a file. Now you want to compile the program. What happens when you compile? It will read line by line source code. First line, second line, third line, fourth line, top to bottom approach. One by one line, it will read the code and verify for the syntax errors. Check for the syntax errors. What is the first step? Read and check syntax errors in all the lines of the program. Throughout the program, in the program, first line to last line, in all the lines, it will read and verify for the syntax errors. If there are any syntax errors found, if there are any syntax errors found, it will report all the syntax errors to the programmer. Programmer is responsible to fix the syntax errors. Suppose syntactically everything is correct. First step is read and check for syntax, all the lines throughout the program. So syntactically it is correct, no syntax errors. Then the compiler translate the complete program into executable code. So it creates an intermediate file. It creates another file that is a machine code file, executable file. And another file is get created. Exe file is created, right? It creates a exe file. Compiler line by line, it will translate into the machine code, machine understandable code. That machine code is kept in the exe file. What the exe file contains? exe file contains hardware understandable machine code. Your high level source code, your program is translated into the machine code. The machine code is saved in the exe file. Such exe file is created. This is what compilation. That's all. Compilation is completed. After compilation, you're supposed to execute the exe file. The exe file is understandable to hardware. Yes, this exe file is understandable to hardware. So this exe file is submitted to hardware. Microprocessor can understand this. It will process and gives you output. Exe file is executed. So there are two stages. One is compilation. Compilation is nothing but verify the syntax errors in the source code and convert that into executable machine code. That is compilation. Once it is converted into executable machine code, execution, the exe file, the executable machine code can be run by the system hardware. Got it? Of course, in order to accommodate the compiler, generate the exe file, operating system internally play the crucial role. So this exe, the hardware understandable, machine understandable code is generated according to the underlying operating system and hardware. According to the computer operating system and hardware, the compiler generates the executable code. This executable code is system dependent, platform dependent. In that computer, it works well. In the similar operating system and a similar kind of architecture, hardware architecture computer, it works well. But if you take this exe file into some other computer, which is a different operating system, which contains the different hardware architecture, it may not work well. It doesn't work. So here C++ compiler generated executable code is dependent on the underlying operating system and hardware. That's the reason this is not platform independent. This is not architecture neutral. Platform independent in the sense which can run on any operating system. Suppose this compilation we did on Windows operating system. The exe file, if I take into Linux operating system, it's supposed to work, but it does not work. Mac OS, if I take the exe file into Mac OS, it's supposed to be executed. It doesn't get executed because operating system is different. Architecture, hardware architecture is different. So this works in only Windows machines because the compilation is done in Windows machine. Of course, you can carry the source code to any operating system. Again, you compile over there. So on that machine, it will generate the exe that will be compatible and execute. Again, you have to do compilation and execution, right? This is C++ compilation process. This both the steps you people are clear, right? Go ahead, please.
Yes, so we are compiled. So suppose I have one program like program one. So I have compiled in Windows OS, right? It will generate the exe. Right?
Yes.
So why we need to move this exe file into another operating system? In which scenario we'll move the exe?
Suppose you are my client here. Okay. You have given a project to me.
Okay.
I developed the project in Windows operating system. Windows operating system exe file is generated. That exe I am delivering to you.
Okay.
But you are using Mac OS.
Okay.
Understand?
Okay.
So whatever exe I given to you as this is your software, that doesn't work for you, right?
Okay. Generally, through some web application, we can use the programs, right? Generally, we can't deliver the.
This is not web application. C language is not for web development here. Web application architecture is entirely different. Okay. These all are softwares. Okay. Web application is based on web server. Okay. That is
Sir, I
different.
have one doubt. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
Regarding
go ahead.
compiler and interpreter, as far as the interpreter is concerned, uh, you know, suppose that we have 10 lines of code, which is program one
Hmm,
dot Python, right?
hmm,
That extension is
hmm,
that. For the first
hmm.
time, every step will be comes in the picture, right? First, syntactically, it will check, and if it is
Yes,
syntactically
yes.
correct, then it will. That is
Line
the,
by line.
all this line by line. In suppose that line one, all these steps which you have explained, that comes in that category, right? But as far as the
Yes, yes.
compilation is concerned, suppose we have 10
Hmm.
lines of code. In the bulk, it will check for 10 lines of code that is
Yes,
syntactically
yes,
correct or
yes.
not.
So
Right? That
first
is
throughout the complete program syntax checking. Next complete program translation. This is compilation. After that
so a little.
execution, complete program will be executed. Yes, yes, exactly.
So it is a little different. Means in Python, suppose that at first line there is some error, it will block that particular
Block there
instant,
itself.
right? It
Stop
will
there
not.
itself. Yes, yes. Stop there
Yes,
itself.
yes. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Thanks, sir. Thank you so much.
yeah. But you see Java and C sharp. What is the major advantage of the Java? Platform independency, architectural neutral. This is what Java claims, right? Before Java, C, C++, Visual Basic, D2K, these languages are famous before Java. I'm talking before 2000, around 2000. At that moment, Java become popular. Java is newly introduced, and 95, Java become popular. Around 98 to 2000, Java become popular. At that time, Java main feature, main advantage is it is platform independent and architecture neutral. That's the main feature of Java. Of course, C Sharp .NET architecture is also similar to Java architecture only. Let us understand about Java, how the Java execution flow looks like. Java is compiler based programming language, no doubt. How Java is platform independent, why C, C++ is not platform independent, how Java is platform independent, what the Java claimed, what is the Java execution flow architecture. Let us understand that now. This is
Yes,
not
Srini, I
C
have
program. Let us
one more question.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So in the like interpreter, right? You are saying first it will read the first line and it will convert the code into some high level language and
Yes,
it is the output,
executable.
right? Yeah,
Yes, yes.
executable code and it will. But generally by using single line we can't generate the output, right? If at all we want to generate some output, we need at least some
Of course,
collection of statements.
hardware processing level, if it is conditional based or it is function, it will maintain the buffer, right? Output in the sense directly they're not giving output. According to the logic you develop. Print command directly gives the output. While loop, until completion of the while loop, according to the internal code you have written, it will respond to the output devices. Got it? Definitely it maintains the buffer, execution buffers, right?
Okay.
Yeah, according to the code. So now let us assume that this is Java. Java is high level code. I wrote my Java program. So Java program I want to execute. Java compiler is responsible. This is Java compiler. Java C, Java compiler. Definitely you have hardware. It should be executed on the hardware, your computer. Okay. Now you start with compilation. What is the first step of compilation? Compile. You say compile. When you say compile, it will read line by line, verify the syntax errors. The syntax, if any syntax errors, it will report the syntax errors to the user. Of course, it is verified. At present, no syntax errors. Everything is fine. Good. Then it will go for compilation. What is compilation? This source code got translated into intermediate code. The source code is got translated into intermediate code called bytecode. bytecode. This is not executable code. This is not executable code. This is an intermediate code. This is not under bytecode is not understandable to hardware. Bytecode is not understandable to programmer. Bytecode is not understandable to hardware. Bytecode is not understandable to programmer. So this is a bytecode. This is an intermediate source code. It is another variety of source code which is not understandable to human or also not understandable to hardware. This is what class file. The class file, intermediate code file is generated, that is dot class file. Got it? Java C, using Java C, when you compile the Java program, it creates the class file. The class file contains bytecode. That bytecode is generated from the given source code, Java source code. This bytecode is not understandable to human being, as well this bytecode is not understandable to hardware. That's the reason I do say this is an intermediate source code. So Java compiler generates the intermediate source code. Since it is not understandable to hardware, how hardware will process it? No, hardware cannot process it. That's the reason you required Java platform. That's the reason you required Java platform. What is your Java platform? JVM, Java Virtual Machine is my Java platform, right guys? Are you able to understand me? JVM. The JVM contains what? The JVM contains JRE, Java Runtime Environment. This is a JVM, Java Virtual Machine. JVM contains JRE, Java Runtime Environment. JRE internally includes JIT compilers. JIT compiler is nothing but interpreter. JIT compiler is nothing but interpreter. JIT compiler is nothing but interpreter. Now this is the Java platform. The JVM JRE can understand the class file, the bytecode. Now what we are doing? Second step. We do say run the program. First step is compilation. Second step is execution, right? This is compilation. This is execution. I do say execute the program, execute the class file. Whenever I say execute the class file, what happens? This class file is submitted to JVM, Java Virtual Machine. In the JVM, any components, special components not directly understandable to hardware to translate, we have JRE. JRE contains all the runtime related information that is submitted to JIT compiler. JIT compiler is an interpreter. It will translate into hardware understandable and execute and gives you output. So once this class file is submitted to JVM, the internal process, internally whatever process is going on, that is interpreter process or not? Do you understand my point, guys? Whatever the JIT compiler is doing, that is interpreter process or not?
Yes, it is interpreter.
Got it? But only the advantage is you need not to verify for the syntax errors, because this class file, the bytecode is already generated by a compiler. So damn sure there will be no syntax errors. There is a guarantee syntax errors definitely not be there. So need not to verify for the syntax. Directly translate, execute, translate, execute, translate, execute, translate, execute. This is what execution is happened. That's the reason this bytecode is platform independent. Whether it is Windows operating system or Mac OS or Unix or Linux, whatever is your operating system, definitely the compatible JVM is available for you. You must install the JVM on your operating system. So JVM can understand the class file, the bytecode. Wherever there is JVM, irrespective of the operating system, you can execute the bytecode, you can execute the class file. That is the reason Java compiler generated bytecode is platform independent. This is the difference. These are the three different compiler and interpreter, compiler, compilation and execution architecture flows. But if you carefully understand C, C++ language and Java language compilers, their main priority is hiding the source code, right? Once you compile the C language using C compiler, it generates a exe file, hardware understandable code. We are hiding the source code. Of course, hardware understandable executable code is generated. It's okay. But Java, you take Java, what is the necessity of this intermediate code called bytecode? So you want to hide the source code. Definitely you want to hide the source code. So the source code you don't want to deliver to the client. That's the reason the intermediate code, bytecode you are delivering to the client, that is not understandable to human being. That's why you are doing business. This was the business style earlier days. But what Python is doing, is the Python platform independent or not?
Platform independent.
Is the Python platform independent or not?
Yes, it is platform independent.
Yes, Python is platform independent because directly we are providing the high level source code. Directly we are executing the high level source code with the help of interpreter. We are compromising, Python is compromising, hiding the source code. Python don't want to hide the source code. So directly source code is given to you. Directly you are executing the source code. Wherever Python interpreter is there, the Python program you can execute irrespective of the operating system, because in every time it is translating and executing, translating and executing. So Python is obviously, it is platform independent or not? But everyone says Python is little bit slow. Python is not little bit slow here. Comparatively C, C++, definitely we have to agree, Python execution speed is little bit low because every time you need to translate. But comparatively Java, bytecode is translated and executed. Comparatively Java, comparatively C#, these kind of latest powerful languages, comparatively Python is equally performs well. Okay, there are no performance drawbacks. But comparatively C, C++, yes, obviously little bit slow because every time translation is not done in case of C, C++. Once the exe file is generated, directly you are executing the executable code. Obviously that is faster than the remaining. Okay, I think all of you comfortable about this. I think you are clear now why Python is still interpreter only, why not Python is compiler. Python don't want to hide the source code. Python want to be platform independent without making a complex architecture. By keeping your architecture simple only, by compromising the hiding source code, with the help of interpreter, we are able to make our code is platform independent. Understand? That is the reason. Next one, multi-purpose. Already we understand multi-purpose, general purpose. Multi-paradigm, multiple paradigms, programming paradigms. Already we understood. Extensible. Python is extensible to other languages. See, in this case, we say Python is like a compiler. Please try to understand this. Already you have a project, you have an application with 5,000 programs. Totally, already you have an application with 5,000 programs. This was developed in Java. So now Java application, you are working with Java application already developed and delivered to you in the real time. You are using the application for your real operations since so many years. Okay, it's well, there are 5,000 programs. Now, whatever the reason might be, you want to migrate into Python. But still, out of 5,000 programs, 4,800 programs are working well. I don't have any problem with them. But only 200 programs I need to upgrade. I need to migrate. I feel that if I migrate into Python, it will be good. Generally, in any kind of migrations, for example, Java project, you are migrating into .NET project, you are migrating into Java. If this is the case, all the 5,000 programs you have to rewrite in .NET, right? Suppose it is Java project, you want to switch to .NET, you want to migrate this project into .NET. Obviously, all the 5,000 programs you have to reconstruct, redevelop in .NET. Am I right, guys? Same thing, .NET project, you want to make it into the Java, you have to rewrite all the code, all the programs into Java. Suppose this Java project I want to implement into SAP, obviously according to the SAP ABAP, that architecture I have to rewrite, construct total project again. But now what I want to do, I want to migrate into Python. The necessary essential 200 programs, I do write into Python. So this is my Python program. This Python program, this is Java project, right? So I will use Jython. Jython is Java Python. Jython is a kind of translator. Using Jython, if you translate this Python source code, it will generate the bytecode, intermediate bytecode, Java compiler generated bytecode. Java bytecode is generated. So Python source code, this is your Python program. Python source code, is generated into Java understandable, Java virtual machine understandable bytecode. This is Jython. This is what known as Java Python. Obviously, when it is a Java bytecode, you migrated your source code into Python, and as well this will fit with along with this 4,800 programs are not 2,000 programs or 200 programs are written like this. All the 200 programs gives you bytecode only. Now your project is still Java project only, so your requirement is immediately fulfilled. You need not to throw away the already well working programs, but still you started migrating into Python. Got it? All of you clear, guys? Understand about this? This is Jython. Similarly, for the .NET, for the C# and .NET platform, Iron Python is there. For the C language, C Python is there. See here, suppose this is C language. This is my Python source code. Here I am using C Python. Obviously, Python itself is developed in C language, C Python. C Python translate this Python source code into exe file. It generates the exe. In this perspective, this is a Python compiler or not? This is acting like a Python compiler or not? This is translating your Python source code into hardware understandable exe. This you can carry into another system and directly execute the exe. You can do this also if it is necessary. You can do this also. So these are the various Python distribution editions are there. C Python, Ruby Python, Java Python, JPython, Iron Python, like that. This way I can say Python is extensible to another language. With the help of C Python, Python is extensible to C language. With the help of Java Python, Python is extensible to Java. With the help of Iron Python, Python is extensible to .NET, like that. The next one is Python is scalable. What do you mean scalable? Today, we develop an application that is working well initial days. Over a time, in my business, my number of customers increased, the number of transactions increased, okay? Everything is volume of data gets increased and everything. My application should work stable in the such situations also. You see, in other languages, C, C++, Java, C#, we have limits for the data types, data values, variable limits, integer, 4 bytes, float, 8 bytes, limit is there. If the value is more than that size, obviously those languages cannot handle it, start throwing the errors, and you have to upgrade the source code again. But Python is not like that. I will show you practical proof for that. Here already Python is installed in my system. See, I'm opening Python console, character user interface, Python 3.10, Python console, character user interface I'm opening. Here I am taking a simple number. A is equal to 123. What is A? 123. What type of object it is? What is the type of A? Integer. It is integer, right? Very good. It is a small value. It's a small value. A is equal to A to the power of 123. So 123 to the power of 123. Now we run it. You see, this is the output. This is the number. You compare with C language or Java language, integer data type, either 2 bytes or 4 bytes range limit. You see? And this is the number, this is the output, this is very biggest number, right? Of course, again, A is equal to A to the power of 123. This number to the power of 123, immediately it is got processed or not? Sorry, 1 second. Immediately that got processed or not, without any time delay, right? Now print A. This is the number. You see, you are not watching Matrix movie. This is just a number. This is just a number. How much big it is. Just observe the scroll bar, how much it is moving. Okay. Even you can process this number to the power of 123. Yes, you can do. But this time it is little bit time delay, because based on our underlying hardware capacity, right? A is equal to A to the power of 123. This number to the power of 123 also, but it is taking little time. It's taking little time. Already completed, right? Even this much big calculations, how faster the Python performs. There is no limit. So Python is scalable. Even though your volumes of data increases, your number of users, number of transactions, frequency increases, load increases, it works stable. Right? So Python is scalable. Python is portable. Already I told you, once you write the Python program, you can put it anywhere, any operating system. It is platform independent, portable on any operating system or any hardware architecture. Wherever Python interpreter is available, the Python programs can be executed. Python is portable. Python is embeddable. Suppose you are developing a software tool. In that software tool, you are expecting Python to be a scripting purpose, programming purpose. Yes, you can embed the Python into your tool. In your tool, Python work as a scripting language or programming language. As simple as Selenium is having Python as its test scripting. Similar. It is embeddable, and Python is simple. Python is very easy to learn. Python is very easy to write the code, easy to read the code, and Python is very easy to learn. Most of the people in the industry, in this training market, whenever people says Python is easy, everyone says that easy to learn and easy to get the job, but also easy to do the job also. So easy to write the code, easy to read the code, and easy to learn and easy to maintain the code. So Python commands, every Python command is self-expressive. That's the reason it is easy to read and easy to maintain and easy to write the code. Python gives you two different modes of working. You can work in Python in interactive mode. Interactive mode is command line interface. Interactive mode is command line interface. This is console. This is shell, Python shell, whatever I have shown you right now. So this is the Python prompt. A command you can give, print hello. The command is immediately gives you the output, instant output, instantly, immediately it gives output. A is equal to 25. Yes, immediately it gives output. B is equal to 35. So A plus B gives you output. This is interactive mode, command line interface, console environment. It provides you facility to work in interactive mode. Second one is script mode. Script mode is nothing, also known as batch mode. It is nothing but writing the program and executing the program. Writing the program, first you take a file, write the program, save the file, then run the program. This is what script mode, batch mode. Got it? Python supports both. Of course, right from the day one, Python provided this interactive mode. In Java, this interactive mode is not there. Java is inspired by Python. Since Java 9 release, Java is also provided Java console interactive mode facility. And now in Java also interactive mode is there. That facility is there since Java 9. Before versions is not having this facility. But Python is not like that. Right from the day one, Python provides both the working environments. So you can work with Python in two different modes. One is interactive mode, second one is script mode. Python is a dynamically typed programming language. So in this perspective, programming languages I do classify into two types. One is a static data type supporting programming languages. Second one is a dynamically typed programming languages. C, C++, Java, C Sharp, etc. These languages comes under static data type supporting programming languages. In static data type supporting programming languages, you must declare variable using corresponding data type. Variable, explicit declaration of variable is mandatory. Explicit declaration of variable is mandatory. You must declare variable first, then after only you can use the variable. Without prior declaration, you cannot use the variable. That is other languages, static data type supporting programming languages such as C, C++, Java. But Python is dynamically typed. Python works based on dynamic semantics. Python works based on late binding mechanism. So you must not declare variable. Python doesn't provide you any syntax or any command to declare the variable. Without a declaration, directly you can use the variable while you are assigning a value to the variable implicitly, internally. Python interpreter take care of the situation and it will assign the memory, assign the value, create the object. Everything is taken care by the Python interpreter. So Python is a dynamically typed programming language. You must not declare variable. There is no matter of declaring the variables, directly using the variables only. Why? Because Python works based on dynamic semantics. It works based on late binding. So there are large standard libraries are available. As I told you yesterday, for the support of every technology, for the support of every domain, Python gives you enough set of libraries. Couple of libraries are built in, couple of libraries you can download free of cost. Most of the things are free of cost. You can download and use it. For example, you see, we people want to develop a project for chemical industry, chemical company, chemical research lab, something like that. Is it that easy to develop such application using Java, C++, or C# like that? Is it that easy? You are the software engineer. You are a great programmer. You are a very good, experienced programmer. Such programmers, Java programmers, such programmers, C++ programmers, can they develop the application for the chemical research lab or chemical industry factory, something like that? Do you think, is it possible? If it is banking project, everyone can develop. If it is a finance project, everyone can do. If it is healthcare project, everyone can do. If it is sales domain, everyone can do. But it is chemical domain, yeah, it's all about the chemicals, molecules, their combinations, formulas, various states, vapor, solid, liquid, etc., etc. It is again a vast domain, right? So it is not possible for the general languages. It's not possible. For that, the programmer should be chemical domain expertise, subject matter expert. Then only the chemical subject matter experts, who is software engineers, those people only can develop such applications. But Python can do that here. Python programmer can do, because in Python already you have a library, readily available library, that is Kempi. Kempi is the library. So we need not to worry about developing every algorithm, every formula of the chemical industry. Those algorithms, those formulas, those functions are readily available in the library Kempi. Directly, it depends on the situation, which library is useful, which function is useful. Just if you know how to use it, that's enough. That's the reason developing such kind of complex applications also, developing the Python is easy. Why? Because already such suitable libraries are available. As of now, more than 130,000 libraries are available. That is the real power of the Python. But of course, you need not to learn all the libraries. Depends on the project in which you are going to contribute. Based on the project, its a domain and its underlying technology, maybe hardly 2 or 3 libraries you might be using in the project, not more than that. So don't worry. Whenever you got the job, you are going to particular project, according to the project, which libraries are required. If you already know that libraries, it is well and good. If you don't know that 1 or 2 libraries, you upgrade within 2 or 3 days. That's enough. Okay. And Python is completely free. Python is completely open source. Source code of the Python is also open for you. You can look into source code of the Python and upgrade it. You can do the necessary changes if you want. So lot of companies are using Python here nowadays. See, here I'm showing you really that. Here NASA is using Python for their scientific research operations. NASA kind of scientific research organization, several organizations are using Python. So NASA is using Python for scientific operations. Google is using Python for web searching algorithm. We are regularly using Google. We are searching, right? Google is using Python for their web searching system, web searching algorithm. Okay. YouTube is using Python for video sharing, and video analytics, statistics, monetization analytics, payment analytics, like this. YouTube is using Python. Instagram is completely developed in Python. Dropbox, it is a centralized shared storage cloud. So client-side interface and server-side script both are developed in Python. BitTorrent is actually peer-to-peer file transfer system. So BitTorrent is developed in Python. Apart from this, several companies like Yahoo, Facebook, IBM, Amazon, BBC, Netflix, etc., several companies are using Python. NSA is using Python for cryptography and intelligence analysis. National Security Agency of America. NSA is using Python. Raspberry Pi is using Python. Several companies. almost topmost companies, almost all companies using Python. Instead of telling this much, simply I can conclude that nowadays almost all companies in almost all projects, either partially or fully, either as a scripting language or as a programming language, somehow they are using Python. Out of more than 5,000 plus programming languages, since couple of years, Python stands in #1 place. Of course, need not to explain this. You can browse the Google top 10 programming languages 2020, top 10 programming languages 2021. Like this, you can browse the Google. Google tells you what is the top 1 programming language. Python is the top one. Mr. Guido van Rossum, this is the person who is the creator of the Python. He is the creator of the Python. He was worked in Google. At present, he shifted to Microsoft. At present, Rossum is in Microsoft. He was worked for Google. Okay. So see, observe, Guido van Rossum conceptualized the Python in 1980s, late 1980s. Implementation of the Python begin, development of the Python, start writing the code in December 1989. In 1991, very first version of the Python is released, Python 0.9.0. Very first version is released in 1991 at CWI, Netherlands. Got it? Before developing Python, Rossum was created and another language successfully, that is ABC, General Purpose Programming Language. After success of the programming language ABC, General Purpose Programming Language, after successfully developing ABC, the Rossum started developing this language. Okay, so we can say Python is derived from ABC. Lot of influence of ABC is there on Python. That's the reason most of the people says that Python is derived from ABC. Python is also general purpose programming language. Actually, why the Rossum is taken the name Python? Rossum is a big fan of a Russian flying circus comedy show, which was telecasted in BBC, that is Monty Pythons. Monty Pythons is the name of the show, just like our Jabardast show. It was Monty Python is a show, TV show. It is flying circus, a funny show, Russian flying circus funny show. He is big fan of that. The name Python is taken from there. But anyhow, Python is the dictionary English word. It represents a snake. So that's the reason logo is like this. And in once you observe the version history of the Python, the stable Python version is released in 1994. Please observe, 1994 1.0 is released, 1994. After that 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, so on is released. Subsequent releases are there. Next, in the year 2000, 2.0 is released. 2.0 is released in the year 2000. Then 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, so on is going on. Next, in the year 2008, 3.0 is released. But 3.0 is completely redeveloped from the scratch. The total Python language completely redeveloped from the scratch in the year 2008. That's the reason backward compatibility is missing. So previous version programs, previously developed programs, the programs developed in the previous versions, not actually compatible to the Python 3.0. You cannot run directly as it is. Got it? So in the year 2008, the Python 3 series is released. The upgraded versions are going on. Parallelly, they continued Python 2 series upgraded versions also. The latest version of the Python 2 series is 2.7.18 or something. That's end the matter. Python, after 2020, they stopped supporting Python 2 series. At present, there is no more Python 2 series. This is over. At present, Python 3 series is going on. Python 3 series is going on. Python 2 series and 3 series, they run parallelly for a decade, for more than 10 years. More than 10 years. In the 2020, they stopped supporting Python 2 series. At present, this is only for your information, but don't worry about Python 2 series. At present, we are totally working with Python 3 series. Okay. So our course is Python 3 only, Python 3 series only. No one will ask you about Python 2 series now. If you are more than 15 years experience in the Python, 10 years, more than 10 years experience in the Python, then they might talk about Python 2 series also with you. But with you, definitely no one will talk about Python 2 series. You can say, right from the beginning, I am working in Python 3 series only. This is the version history of the Python 3 series. Latest version is Python 3.10.3 something. In the year 2006, Guido Rosem is started an organization, Python Software Foundation. So Python Software Foundation is a non-profit oriented organization. It is devoted or dedicated for the upgradation of the Python, for the benefit of the Python promotion, Python upgradation, supporting the Python community, supporting the Python developers, supporting the Python dependent technologies. That's the reason since year 2006, since the Python Software Foundation, the organization exists, Python programmers are start getting the support with no price, with no cost, zero cost. We are getting all the facilities like a proprietary concern licensed software. That's the reason everyone started trusting the Python. That's the reason after 2006, Python Software Foundation released 3 series in the year 2008, 3 series. Then onwards, the industry, total industry quickly moving towards the Python. Every technology started using Python. Okay, so already what is Python? It is a combination of these all languages. Python is a language which having features of scripting language, features of object-oriented programming language, procedure-oriented programming language, functional programming language, for modular language. All language positive benefits together is available in Python. This is just a comparison chart between Python and other languages. Automation applications, Python can do. Data analytics, Python can do. Scientific applications, you can do in Python. Web application, yes, you can do in Python, you can do in Java, you can do in .NET. Web scraping, Python can do, right? Test cases, test automation, yes, you can do in Java and .NET also, as well Python. Networking automation, you can do with Python and Java, but not Java, this one. Networking automation, only Java and Python. Administration scripts can be done with Python, not with Java and .NET. GUI desktop applications, yes, you can do in Python, you can do in Java, you can do in .NET also. Okay, and gaming can be done with Java and .NET also. Animations can be done with Python only. This is the comparatively technical strengths of the Python. That's the reason Python is very popular nowadays. In every sector, Python they are using. Python is one of the essential skill for every software engineer. This is total story about Python here. Just today I conclude with this story. So far, whatever I explained, that is available in this document. This PDF, of course, for the regular students, this PDF I will share. Same like this for every chapter, I do share the document and programs. Okay. Any questions finally, guys?
Sir,
I just wanted to know. I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, sir, I just wanted 2 points. As far as the compiler is concerned, that Java C, is it also written some other programming language, or how it is? And that is the first question.
Obviously,
And
obviously,
the second, okay. And the second question is, as
obviously,
far as
every
the
language is
machine,
written in some other language.
as far as the second question is concerned, is if machine understandable language means it is it will be written a bytecode like 0 1 form, right?
Machine understandable code is bytecode or assembly code.
Like in 0 1 0 1, something like that.
That is binary code. Bytecode is not 0 1 0 1.
Okay.
Binary language is 0 1 0 1.
Okay. Okay. And
Assembly
what about the
language made
Java?
with symbols. The Java bytecode is different. Some other source code. They named it as a bytecode,
Okay. Okay.
but it is not 0 1 combination. So it is some other, which is not understandable to human.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions?
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah,
The
please go
course
ahead.
this course actually starting, it was actually started actually, I think, is it right?
Yeah, actually these 2 days are demo sessions. Next week onwards it will start.
Okay, every weekend there will be a 3 hours of the training.
Yes. This weekend demo sessions 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour we are planned. Next weekend will be 2 hours, 2 hours. Next weekend onwards 3 hours.
Okay, so next week is 2 hours of training, and that will be the no demo anymore. So that will be real training, correct?
Then how much demos we can give here? These 2 days is
Yeah.
the big time for
No,
demo.
just normally asking, because then we can start doing
Yeah.
coding. That's what I am after.
Yeah. Next weekend installation and getting started working with Python. The total coding related.
Okay, so the second question is, you're showing the data analytics component in this course. Is it?
NumPy module, Pandas module, Matplotlib module. These 3 module I will explain.
Okay, will you give us some real world project to do for data analytics? Say something we
I
can do.
do
Some
give the
calculation.
assignments, but doing the assignments is your duty.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, last question. I will take 1 minute. Sir, actually, I'm working as Oracle SQL PL SQL, right? So I'm for a longer run. Actually, I want to switch my career towards the data analytics. So so what is the right path? So I'm proceeding the right direction. That's my question. If you can
This
a
is
little.
Python. Python is a good beginning for you towards moving data analytics. Okay.
Okay.
After Python, you can go with either data science course or you can go with something like Azure Databricks, Data Factory, those kind of courses. Because you are totally into database side and you want to
Yes,
towards move into the data engineering side.
Sir, actually,
That's
I'm
the
not
best.
very much a hard coder person. That is something which actually I just wanted to highlight. So Python is something I have learned a little bit. So I was very much comfortable with Python because my previous background was I was working as a so I am not very much hard coder kind of person. So that's the reason I just looking for the data analytics road. So that is my.
In the Python, you need not to struggle to write the code. By end of this course, you will become a good Python programmer. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Then today we do stop here. Let us see in the regular classes next weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Okay.
Sir, fees is actually we deposit to the office.
You can talk to the administration people.
Okay.
The coordinators, DURGASOFT coordinators. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Srini. So I have one question, sir.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So I am like cloud Azure data engineer. So I'm working as engineer. So but the thing is, I need only core Python only. So how can we leverage these things?
We discuss core Python and advanced Python also. Okay. There is nothing wrong with learning additionally, right? Whatever you needed is completely available in this, and more than that is available. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a matter of two more weekends for you. That's it, right? If you you are listening advanced Python, advanced skills and everything, it is just a matter of 2 more weekends.
Okay.
So it is absolutely suitable, and you are learning more than you required. So in future, if really some advanced concepts are required, you need not to worry about that at that time, and you need not to go for one more time for the course, right?
Okay.
Suppose at this moment you will learn core Python only, you want to stop there itself. Tomorrow, after a couple of years or couple of months, you may needed advanced features also. At the time, if you come over there, come to the training, anyhow we will start from the core, right?
Yeah.
So in the
Okay,
single
Srini. Yeah.
stretch, you learn core and Python, become as a good Python programmer. In further, you need not worry about the Python ever.
Okay. Okay, Srini. Thanks. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Hi, Srini, Karthik this side. Hello.
Yeah, Karthik, go ahead.
Hi, actually, I'm from network background. I'm network security engineer. So actually, we are also using Python for, to configure the devices. Like we have like multiple devices, and in Firewall, if you have to allow multiple roles or something like that. So we are using different libraries. It's not like what the
Yes, yes.
normal coders are
Yes,
using.
yes.
So
Yes,
whether
yes.
it's like useful for me or not.
Python is useful. Python language plus networking libraries you're supposed to use. Python language is common for everyone.
Yes, yes, yes.
Apart from this, additionally, some more libraries you are using.
Yeah, like NetMiko, Paramiko, these are
Yes,
the
yes.
some
But those libraries are
libraries.
not covered in this course. But still, whatever is required, complete Python programming you needed. After completion of this course, especially you're supposed to concentrate on those libraries.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. Then let us stop today here. Continue tomorrow, next weekend. See you on next
Thanks,
Saturday.
Srini.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.